I'm already a millionaire in my mind. I don't see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way a seed is called by its finished form, I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life and have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. My name is Julian Gordon, and I'm author of Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. After becoming a multimillionaire through real estate investing, I was moved by God at the beginning of the pandemic to share my money mindset that allowed me to quit my job in January of 2009 at the bottom of the last recession and achieve full financial freedom. I own my mental real estate before I own any physical real estate. This book is like some of your favorites: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the Bible all in one. But the divine downloads and thoughts that are in here are 100% original and came for a 6-month period at the beginning of the pandemic. This book is normally $100 on Amazon if you went there right now, but I want to give you access to it for free by inviting you to our next reading group. Yes, the reading group is 100% free. Every weekday for 100 days straight, I'll be reading and discussing the 10 money commandments in the book that make money come to you in your life easily, more frequently, and abundantly. And it will take about 30 to 45 minutes as we read 3 to 5 pages per day until we finish the book and reprogram your mind around money. Why 100 days? Well, if you are 30 years old, you've lived for 10,950 days. And we have to deprogram and reprogram the negative, scarcity-based money mindset society has taught you. And I believe I can do that in just 1% of the time in about 100 days. I'm done with shelf help. You know, when you buy a book to change your life, but you never read it, it just sits on your bookshelf and collects a whole bunch of dust. We off that. When is the last time you had an author actually read their book to you out loud because they cared about you getting the information in your soul? I'm not just here to get this book in your hands. More importantly, I want to get it in your head and your heart, because that's where the real transformation occurs, in the conscious and the subconscious mind. As scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not the type of book that you just read once. To renew the subconscious mind requires repetition over and over and over. So if you joined us last time, I encourage you to join us again. I myself have read this book over 10 times already. So click the link to join our next reading group, and when you sign up, I'm gonna give you the first 2 chapters of the book for absolutely free on what is money and abundance is your birthright, so that you can start your journey to a more abundant life today.
What's good, everybody? This is your boy Thavian, back at you with another reading of the Rich and Righteous. We're on day 18. If you're new here, this is the 100-day challenge of the reading of the Rich and Righteous. We have been here for 18 days now. 18 days. We're going 100 days of reading of the Rich and Righteous. This is a book club all about reprogramming your mind to attract more money. Reprogramming your mind to attract more money. We're on money commandment number 4. There is a total of 10 money commandments. We're on money commandment number 4, which is how the rich speak about money. Make sure that you're paying attention to the readings. Pay attention to what you're reading. Pay attention to Julian reading the book out loud to you, so you can grasp those gems and concepts, so you can give me some takeaways. I need you to give me some takeaways. Those takeaways are proof to you and to me that you have got something out of the reading. That's the purpose of the book club, so we can read and discuss what we have learned. How did the book help us? How did that chapter help us? How did that scripture help us? At the end of the reading, you should definitely have some takeaways. We're going to go ahead and get into the reading. If you don't have a book, there is a link in the description section of the post. Go ahead and click that link, man, and get your book. Get your book, man. Look at that. We have been reading. Look how thick that thing is, and look where we at right now. We have been reading. This book is phenomenal. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with day 18.
Page 166, words create worlds. Let there be light, and there was light. So you see right here the power of God using the power of his word, right, in order to create. In Genesis, What did God do with its word? Create this world. So what do children of God or gods do with their word? We create worlds. Words help transition ideas from the first dimension to the second and third dimensions. A thought form or word form is one-dimensional. But when it enters the world through writing or image, it becomes two-dimensional, which is flat form. As Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. And then the word becomes three-dimensional when it takes on its physical form. Words have the power to create worlds, and these worlds become our experience. Think of Disneyland, The Matrix, or Wakanda, or heaven. These single words conjure up so much imagery, emotions, and ideas. Even without physical form, words like these inform our choices. The word abracadabra, oftentimes used by magicians just before they manifest something out of thin air, literally means I create what I speak in Hebrew. It literally means I create what I speak. How many of you knew that? How many of you didn't know that? Abracadabra literally means I create what I speak. You thought it was a magician just coming up with some gibberish? No. Abracadabra is Hebrew. It literally means I create what I speak. Okay? So I want to go back really quickly. So thought form is the first dimension. Okay? And then the second dimension, when you make something flat, right? When you make something flat, that is when if you put the word, the thought, through word, into writing or an image. An image speaks 1,000 words, right? And then the third dimension is the physical form, and the fourth dimension is when you actually are able to experience that in time, space, and reality. So we can go from I know Atlanta Airport, right? Somebody had the vision, okay? Then they put it into that's the first dimension. Then they put it into a 2D blueprint on a flat piece of paper. That's a blueprint for the airport. In the airport, they actually have a smaller three-dimensional model of the airport, but I can't walk through that three-dimensional model. All I can do is see it. It is in physical form. It has height, length, and width now, okay? But it's in a small three-dimensional form. And it's not until now we can actually experience that airport in time, space, and reality that we now enter the fourth dimension, okay? So that is how manifestation occurs. So we are on the bottom of page 166. God, listen to me. God is never not listening to your word, whether you speak it casually or seriously, internally or aloud. God is never not listening. So if some people knew the power of their word, they would talk less. I told you this week, I told all y'all to shut up this week with a smile on my face. I told all y'all to shut up this week with a smile. Not a mean shut up, just be quiet. Shh. You talk too much. If some people knew the power of their word, they would talk less. How you speak shapes your reality literally. All right. Words have vibrations, and the more you believe in that word, the stronger the vibration. And through the law of resonance, the things that share that frequency begin to excite in the quantum field. Okay. I'm going to repeat that. And through the law of resonance, the things that share that frequency begin to excite, get activated in the quantum field. And if held long enough, ultimately manifest. Our words are vibration. And that's why we have vocal cords. We have vocal cords, right? To speak and eardrum to hear. You see that? We have vocal, if you don't believe your words are vibration, we have vocal cords, okay? Like an accordion, like the chords in a computer, in a piano. And we have eardrums because those vibrations hit the eardrums and then it translates through our brain into something that we can compute, to code that we can compute. Your drums are being beaten by the words that I'm saying right now, okay? Our language has to match the vibration of the level we want to live on, which is heaven on earth, the highest level of all. Our language has to match the vibration of the level we want to live on, which is heaven on earth. That is where we ultimately all want to be. Heaven on earth, not heaven after you die. That's what the church and religion will teach you. Heaven after you die, that's the ultimate. No. It says on earth as it is in heaven. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The highest level of living is heaven on earth. When the highest level of thinking, the greatest good that you can imagine in your mind is actually matching with your physical reality. That is where we ultimately want to be. What did Bob Marley say? Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. If you knew what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. And now you see the light. Hey, stand up for your rights. Yeah. If you knew what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. Okay? But again, we're not looking for ours in terms of material things. That's not what it's not about materialism. Okay? You can have nice things, but we are looking to whatever the highest and greatest good you imagine in your life and for others is, that is what we want to bring down to earth. Heaven is our mental experience of life, earth is our material experience. We want those to match. That's when you're experiencing heaven on earth. Okay? So, fear, doubt, worry, murder, hate, sin, war, competition, and disease don't exist at this level. Okay? So we're trying to change our language. Many people's language pattern is down here. It's on some lower level. It's in the basement for some people. Okay? We're trying to elevate our language to the 100th floor, top of the Empire State Building. The language that we speak up here is different than the language that is down here. Okay? So down here, up here, we don't talk about fear. We don't talk about doubt, worry, murder, hate, sin, war, competition, or disease. Those don't exist up here. Okay? Your language always reveals your level. Your language always reveals your level. So I'll give you an example from a cooking standpoint. When I was a kid, I was a latchkey kid, right? And so my language for cooking, what was my word for cooking, y'all? It was called microwave. Microwave. That was my word for cooking. Okay? When I was in elementary school and junior high school, it was microwave. That was my verb for cooking. Okay? But now as you elevate as a cook or a chef, right? What kind of words can you use to describe cooking? We can be sauteing something. We can be broiling something, right? Give me some other words that are higher level cooking verbs. I'm showing you in real time. Give me some. I said saute, broil. We can braise something. We can roast something. Good. We can steam something. We can grill something. Okay. We can bake. We can sizzle. We can air fry. So are you seeing the difference? Down here on this level of cooking, I only had microwave. That was the level of cooking I was at. But as you elevate, your language changes. We can simmer something. We can char something. You see all these, you see all these words? They're higher level words. Now we're moving towards Gordon Ramsay, not Julian Gordon in elementary school. Right? This is Julian Gordon Elementary School. This is Gordon Ramsay up here. We got two different languages, but we're talking about the same thing. So Genesis 2:19 through 20 says, and whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. The man gave names to all the livestock, to the birds of the air, and to every beast of the field. Like Adam, you have the power to name your own experience. What you name the things in you and around you reflects how you see yourself in relationship to those things. Is that situation a challenge or a problem? Is the situation that you're in right now a challenge or a problem? Because that wording is actually going to reflect, actually show how you think about life. Is that a lemon or is it lemonade? Is that a lemon, a sour lemon, or is it lemonade? Is that a flaw or is it a growth opportunity? We hear about growth mindset. Are they meant to be, are they being mean to hurt you or tough to help you? If you believe that your high school coach is being mean to hurt you, when in reality they're just being tough to help you, that's going to change the way you relate to them and even the sport that you're playing. Did they mislead you or did you not take lead? Did they mislead you in terms of externally blaming somebody else, or did you not take the lead? Are you surviving or are you thriving? Oh, dude, I'm just getting by. Is it a global pandemic or is it a global pandemic? You know how many people made bands in the midst of COVID, you either going to freeze during COVID or you're going to get free. A lot of people chose to freeze and they got stuck, just like Lot's wife looking back. And there are a few people that I know that got free. Did you get fired or did you get free? Did they die or did they transition? Did you lose or did you learn? Are you a small business or a scaling business? Two people can experience the same situation and have two completely different interpretations and descriptions of their experiences. Your language shows and reflects how you think about life. Your language literally creates worlds. Your words create worlds. Okay? Your words have a creative power. As Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the what? Of the tongue. Proverbs 29:20 adds, there is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. This is why I told y'all to shut up this week. There is more hope for a fool than someone who speaks without thinking. All right? Your word is made flesh. So your vocabulary offers you a variety of seeds you can use to give birth to physical things. A person with a poverty consciousness is limited by their language and does not speak the same as a person with a wealth consciousness. Okay? This is why I love Malcolm X. Do you all remember what Malcolm X did when he was in jail? He read the entire dictionary. He read the entire dictionary. So now he took his limited language from Detroit Red, and by changing his language and having access to new words that create new worlds, he elevates to the great speaker he was as Malcolm X. No, he didn't just read. Reading is good by itself. He read the dictionary so that he had more seeds to access when he was planting them in the minds of the people through his speeches. He read the dictionary, okay? The vocabulary of Detroit Red and the vocabulary of Malcolm X, completely different. So his transformation, which is probably, that story is probably the greatest story of personal growth and transformation in the entire world, okay? But you see a key element of it was actually changing his language. It wasn't just the religion, okay? It wasn't just, all of those are key. Having the discipline of religion, having mentor, right? Having the religion, mentors, having the time, being in jail, right? But I think one of the key components that is overlooked is he changed his language, okay? And he's one of the greatest orators of all time. Your word is bond, and it should never be destructive. Seek to make your word constructive by building. These are the three things your word should do. Three things your word should do. Building, blessing, or breathing life into someone, something, or someone, including yourself, whether it's through speaking, writing, prayer, or self-talk. So there's three things you want your word to do. You want to build, you want to bless, or you want to breathe life into something. Those are the only three things you should be speaking about. This is why gossip is no good, because gossip is usually destructive. And not only is it destructive, guess what? Your words shall never return void, but that gossip ends up coming right back around to you. You were gossiping about someone who got cheated on, and guess what? Guess what's happening behind your back, family? You was gossiping about your homegirl who got cheated on with somebody else because she confided in you and privacy and confidentiality. And now guess what's happening to you? Because your words shall never return void. You thought you were talking about her, but really what you ended up doing, you ended up talking about yourself. So we only use our word for three things: to build, to bless, or to breathe life into something or someone. And for those of you who say, oh, I don't gossip, but I listen to gossip, I'm convicting you too. Oh, I don't gossip. I didn't say anything. She just told me. You know you have the power to cut off a conversation. I don't want to hear that. Oh my goodness, I gotta go. Oh my goodness. Did you know that? Like, you gotta have some tactics to revert the conversation. Because I don't want to hear that in my spirit. Okay? So some of us need to zip up our mouth, and we need to put earplugs in. Because some of the words you listen to, don't let me go into your music playlist. Don't have me go into your music playlist. You still listening to Cardi B. Oh, but the song is good, the beat is good. Yeah, but have you listened to all the lyrics? And then on top of that, have you listened to some of the subconscious messages that they have at lower frequencies in the actual song? You bobbing your head, yes. When you bob your head like this, you affirming. You're saying yes to that song. Yes. So the song is coming in, and you saying yes to it. Yeah. F these dudes. I hate these itches. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You just affirming it. Yes. Uh-huh. You're like, oh no, music don't affect me. No, that's all good. That's how you gotta be. I don't even listen to music that much, family. So seek to make your word constructive by building, blessing, or breathing life into something or someone, including yourself, whether through speaking, writing, prayer, or self-talk. If you don't have something good to say to yourself, say nothing by meditating and taking no thought. Jesus said, take no thought. Take no thought. Do not worry. And so if you are having self-critical thought, you have to go into meditation and let those thoughts descend and evaporate. Okay? We're on page 168. We're on page 168. Second paragraph. Case in point. In an interview just before the 1986 World Series between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Mets, the Red Sox first baseman Bill Buckner said this in a pregame interview. The dreams are that you're going to have a great series and win. We're talking about baseball here. The nightmares are that you're going to let the winning run score on a ground ball through your legs. Those things happen, you know. I think a lot of it is just fate. Lo and behold, guess what happened, family? Lo and behold, in a pivotal game 6 of the series, Bill Buckner allowed a ground ball to go through his leg in the 10th inning, an extra innings, resulting in the Mets winning game 6 and ultimately game 7. Buckner believed in his nightmare more than he did his dream, and the nightmare he vividly envisioned came to pass. He literally said that in a pregame interview, and it manifested. Go YouTube Bill Buckner World Series. This is the power of your word. You saw me stop the rain yesterday with my word. So you're either going to believe in your dream or you're going to believe in your nightmare. You're either going to believe in your best case scenario or you're going to believe in your worst case scenario. Most people, because of the lizard brain in us, because of the amygdala, we tend to believe heavier in the worst case scenario than we do the best case scenario. That is a muscle we have to develop. Page 168. You can also see this in music, where repetition is strengthened not only by the musician having to perform the same song repeatedly, but also by their fans touching and agreeing by singing the lyrics in radio stations playing the word on the airwaves. So it's one thing for the musician to create the song, but now there are other people who are touching and agreeing and believing in that word, and then that word is being spread by those people playing the song and radio stations. So that word gets multiplied really, really quickly. Okay. Michael Jackson said, I'm bad. I'm bad. 24 times in his song Bad. He said it 24 times. I counted. Remember that the subconscious mind takes things literally, despite what he may have meant. He also had some song titles that seemed to be soundtracks of his life, like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, The Way You Make Me Feel. Are you talking about love or are you talking about girls? Man in the Mirror, Black or White, Pretty Young Thing, and Gone Too Soon. The question is, did these songs shape his life or share his life or both? Did these songs shape his life or were they sharing his life or were they both? On another note, one of Bob Marley's best songs, and I just sang Bob Marley a second ago, was We're Jamming. On the surface, it appears to be an upbeat song about partying. But you realize how many of you like that song, We're Jamming? By Bob Marley. I'm about to blow your mind. How many like that song? We're jamming. And I want to jam it with you. Okay? On the surface level, it appears to be a party song, correct? But it's not. Listen to the lyrics. To think that jamming was a thing of the past, or Jah children must unite, or Jah sitteth in Mount Zion. You want to know what Bob Marley was really saying, family? He was saying that we are Jah-men. Jah, which is the Rasa's word for God, And it's also a biblical name, one of the biblical names of God, Jehovah Jireh, etc. Right? J-A-H hyphen men. He said, we're Jah men, we're God men. What you are, we're Jah men. What you are. And I want to jam it with you. I want to jam it with other people who recognize themselves and see themselves as children of God. It was not a party song. That's the magic of his writing, is that on the surface level, it came off on a party song and people just danced into it, just like you danced to Cardi B. But really, it was actually the highest affirmation. The reason people love that song is because it's actually the highest affirmation of you as a human being. We're God men is exactly what Jesus said in John 10:34. Ye are gods. But God was able to weave it into wordplay in a song and download it into the subconscious mind. Not only do these people love this song for the vibe, the vibration, but we also subconsciously love it because it is the highest affirmation of all time. Somebody calling you a God, recognizing you as a child of God. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you've been in jail. I don't care what dirt you've done. The question always remains, how does God see you? I don't care how the United States government sees you. I don't care how the police see you. I don't care how the media sees you. I don't care how your ex sees you. What really matters is, how does God see you? And we know the story of the prodigal son. The father is always waiting for the child to return with open arms. The mother, father, God does not abandon the child because of their doing. This is why you can't do your way into heaven. It's not about doing. It's about you recognizing who you are and your being. Now, your being naturally will do good when you understand that you're a child of God. But this is not a doing contest. This is not about who gave the most to a nonprofit. This is not about who did the most good. Naturally, as a child of God, you will do good. But the reality, and some people do good because they don't feel that they're a child of God, and they're trying to impress their parents. They're trying to impress their spiritual parents. They think they're a bad kid because religion told you that you were a sinner. So you think you have to do good to get back in honor of the mother, father, in honor of your spiritual parent. But the reality is that you come to the awareness that you are already a child of God. And once you recognize that you're a child of God, your being shaped your doing will shape your having. So once you step into the identity as a child of God, you will naturally do good because that is what God does. And as a result of doing good, you will be rewarded in terms of your having. This is not a doing contest, though. Page 169. We have about one page left. And then we have Tupac and Biggie. Machiavelli was released on November 5th, 1996, and Tupac died on September 13th, 1996. Meaning that all of the songs were already recorded. Observe the death in the song title. Listen to me. Observe the death in the song title. To live and die in LA. I wonder if heaven got a ghetto. I shed so many tears. Life goes on. Life goes on. Only God can judge me. I ain't mad at you. Hail Mary. Thug's Mansion. Cradle to the grave. Until the end of time. How long will they mourn? You hear all the death in those songs, family? You hear the death in those songs. Okay? Now, the Notorious B.I.G. album, Ready to Die, just listen to the title of the album, Ready to Die, had a similar theme with song titles like Crossroads, More Money, No Problem, Who Shot You, and Who Shot You, Dead Wrong, Suicidal Thoughts, Somebody's Got to Die, and My Downfall. Ready to Die was released on September 13th, 1994, and he died on March 9th, 1997. Music remains one of the most powerful forces in the world due to the vibration of the words, the vibration of the beat, and the repetition of the lyrics by artists, bands, radio stations, and streaming services. It is one of the greatest ways to reprogram your subconscious mind. It is one of the greatest ways to reprogram your subconscious mind. Okay? Last page. Google, I need everybody, if I do this afterwards. Google child replay. Okay, I'll show you the word CHLADNI. I'm going to show you an image in just a second. Oh my God. Google CHLADNI. Okay, CHLADNI. All right. It is a plate connected to a sound output with sand on top. It is a plate connected to a sound output with sand on top. All right. And when certain sounds are played, the sand on the plate takes on elegant patterns. If you don't think sound shapes your reality, this is proof. The walls of Jericho collapsed as a result of the vibration of the trumpets. You remember the story about the walls of Jericho crumbling? How do you think the walls of Jericho crumbled? Vibration. Vibration. Okay? In the same way that an opera singer's high-pitched voice can cause the glass to shatter, the vibration of your words can shape or shatter your world. You've heard of or seen opera singers' voice shatter a glass? The same thing. It's vibration, family. So I'm going to show you what a childly plate looks like. This is what a childly plate looks like. How many of you seen this before? How many seen a childly plate before? I'm just making it real for you. I'm connecting the dots for you. How many of you have seen this before? All that is that's sand on a childly plate at 5,201 hertz. And this is the pattern that it makes. So if you think that your vibrations of your words don't shape your reality, this is proof that they do. This is proof that they do. Okay? Throughout this book, you've seen me make up words because every level of consciousness requires a new language. When you graduate from one level of anything to the next, new vocabulary will open up new doors in your thinking. In math, you started with counting, and then you got to calculus. In business, you started with revenues and expenses, and now you're talking about MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue, or LTV, which is lifetime value of the customer. In cooking, it used to be boil or bake, and now you're talking about searing and braising. I'm a creator, and so are you, and we have the power to name our experience as we wish. If a word that isn't in the dictionary feels better or more accurate to you, then feel free to use it. You've seen me create words all throughout the book. I create words to actually elevate my level of consciousness, to match with where I'm trying to go, because there is no word in the English dictionary that matches where I'm seeking to go. That's what visionaries do. Not only do we create visions that have not been seen before, but we also create language to describe those visions. When someone creates a new word, we say they what? Listen to me. When someone creates a new word, what do we say they did? What do we say? What is it called, family? You think your words have value? Watch this. When someone creates a new word, what do we say they did? We say they coined a phrase. You see the monetary implications of that? They coined a phrase. They coined it. Your word has now become valuable because you coined it. You didn't need a mint. You didn't need the Federal Reserve. You coined a word. When someone creates a new word, we say they coined that phrase because the word you use to describe your experiences are valuable. You don't need to define your experience through the limited lens of Webster's dictionary or the encyclopedia. History keeps repeating itself because we keep repeating the same story in language. You are the narrator of your life, and with your words, you have the power to describe your experiences as you wish. All right? So, you got to understand the power of your word, family. Some of you need to stay silent and be very mindful of the words you speak. Because when you speak a word, okay, it's one thing for it to come as a thought, but when you speak it, you give it a greater vibration. And now you've externalized it. And now it's moving through the universe. We're having a conversation with the you and I verse. So you want to be very mindful of your words. We want to use our words to, that's it. That is the only reason we want to be speaking. Anything else is, what do they call it? Superfluous. That's a new word, right? Superfluous, frivolous, not useful, futile. See these words? These words can describe your experience. All right?
All right. This concludes day 18. Day 18 is officially in the books. What are your takeaways? Man, we're moving right along. We're still in money commandment number 4, man. Money commandment number 4. One of my takeaways, you must really understand the power of the words you say. The words you say have meaning, they have power. That's why we're in this money commandment number 4. It's all about speaking. The previous readings we've done the past 2 days, all about speaking, knowing what to say, when to say, how to say it, listening to what you say, listening to what others say. But today he spoke on your words have a specific job. Your words have a specific job. The words that come out of your mouth should be used to build you in someone else, bless you in someone else, or breathe life into someone else. That's the sole purpose and job of your words. When you speaking, build someone up, bless someone, breathe life into someone. How the rich and righteous speak about money. Who are you going to build up today with your words? Who are you going to bless today with your words? Who are you going to breathe life into today with your words? How about this weekend? Who are you going to build up to this weekend with your words? Who are you going to bless with your words? Who are you going to breathe life into this weekend with your words? I advise anyone on this call, anyone reading the book with me, we're still in Money Commandment number 4, and we have about 2 more sections to go. Definitely go back and read these 2 previous sections that we just covered about speaking. Some of us really need to watch what we say, who we say it to, and how we say it, because the words you say might not affect that person that day, might not affect you that day, but it will come back around. Once again, day 18 officially in the books. Make sure you document those takeaways. If you don't have the book, go ahead and get the book, man. The book is valuable, man. When this 100-day challenge is over, you still want to be able to pick this book up and stimulate your mind. See y'all on the next reading. Salute.